Does this sound familiar from somewhere? Let me explain it for those saying, "What the heck is this?" This sound is the thing that changed everything for many of us. This is the dial-up sound that allows us to step into the new world called the internet. We'd connect on a home phone, go to a few available websites, and stare blankly. At that time, we never imagined that it would come to this point. This brand new world was called the internet. For some it was a computer owned by a man and we were connecting to it. To some it was a company, to others it was something extraterrestrial. Even now, many of us don't know exactly what it is. What is this internet? Where and how does it work? More importantly, who owns and runs it? In this video, we will learn the answers to the questions of who the inventor of the internet is, how it works, where it comes from and where it goes. First of all, the origin of this internet revolution goes back to 1969. At that time, the U.S. Department of Defense had a division called ARPA, meaning the Advanced Research Projects Agency. This unit provided financing for important projects across the country. At the time, they supported the development of a project aimed at connecting computers to facilitate data transfer between universities. In fact, they named this project, which we can call the first internet, ARPANET. This project was so successful that it grew rapidly, and more computers are connected every day around the world. 20 years later, in 1989, the biggest step was taken for the internet to reach the way we know it today. It was Sir Tim Berners-Lee, a British computer scientist, who took this step. Tim Berners-Lee was asked to fix the problem caused by incompatibility between different servers. After long efforts, he developed the HTML programming language and established the information sharing system, which makes it easy to share information over the internet, which is defined as www. He also established the HTTP system, which allows web pages to connect to sites on the internet. Software has been developed to automatically find and monitor web pages and to easily search for and find information. Berners-Lee did not anticipate that this would be a revolutionary innovation that would affect the whole world. However, the results were striking. While there were only 50 web pages on the internet in 1992, this number exceeded 40 million 4 years later. The most striking thing is that Lee did not patent his invention. We can only dream of the wealth he could attain. That's why he is one of the most essential names in the world. According to a study conducted recently, there are 4.9 billion internet users in the world, meaning 62% of the world population. Most of it is in Asia. Internet connection is vital for many people. According to many studies, people who lose their internet connection develop symptoms similar to drug withdrawal. Those who make their living from the internet with the job opportunities it provides is another dimension of it. Therefore, our dependence on the internet has become natural. So, what is internet? First of all, it isn't something you can point out, describe. The internet is a phenomenon that occurs when hundreds of thousands of networks are connected to each other. Of course, an incredible investment in technology is needed to create these connections. Maybe we can make an analogy. We can compare the internet to agriculture. If you can make a description of agriculture, point out the owner of it, you can comprehend internet as well. But of course, a huge infrastructure is needed for the internet. We can talk about the people and institutions that own this infrastructure. The internet is like a giant neural network, and within this network there are ports. These ports are the servers as we know it. All the information we reach is distributed from these servers via fiber optic cables. These servers can sometimes be huge server farms, and these farms are owned by some companies. Some of these farms are so large that the amount of electricity required to operate is more than the electricity consumption of some countries. The largest of these farms, according to Forbes, is the Range International Hub in China. This farm spreads over an area of approximately 600,000 square meters. Go figure the data traffic. The second is the farm called Switch Supernap in Nevada. Its size is approximately 200,000 square meters. Some of Switch's customers are companies like Fox, Intel, eBay, and Boeing. According to a 2016 study, Google has close to 3 million servers worldwide. So you see, these server centers are like small outposts where the internet is controlled. We can say that those who control them are also the names that control the internet in a way. But of course it is not that easy. There are other players involved. For example, internet service providers. These companies, on the other hand, are the owners of the cables extending from these servers to our homes, owners of the most important part of the network to us. These cables are very, very important. These cables cables pass under the seas and cross the oceans and are usually fiber optics. So what is the difference between fiber optic and regular cable? In fiber optics, data is carried by light rather than electricity, so as you can imagine, it is much faster. So, why aren't there fiber optic cables everywhere? Why can't everyone access fiber internet? The answer is very simple actually, because it is very expensive. Laying and managing these cables is very, very expensive. Despite this, there is a gigantic fiber optic cable network connecting all corners of the world, crossing all continents, seas and oceans. Its name is FLAG, meaning fiber optic link around globe. The total length of this cable network is more than 28,000 kilometers, a network starting from North America and extending to England, Japan and India. The owner of this cable network is Global Cloud Exchange, a partner of an Indian company called Reliance Communications. We can say that this is the company that is responsible for connecting and staying connected to the internet in a very large part of the world. In fact, they are the ones who control the internet as we know it. There have been serious discussions about this in Europe lately. There might be those who have heard of Article 13, which has become Article 17 now. It is a new law brought by the European Union. In summary, memes and even GIFs we use will be copyrighted. The follow-up of these works is carried out through internet service providers. As we said, although the internet has no particular owner, we wouldn't have internet without these farms, cables, and the companies that control them. But, according to a group of people, there is an organization that manages the internet. A company named ICANN, meaning the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. This institution was established as a non-profit organization and manages the domain names and internet traffic on the internet as a supra-company structure. The motto of the company is, One World, One Internet. Although it is not correct to say that it is the owner of the internet, this organization does a very important job. If you want to reach someone or a company over the internet, you must have an address for that destination or you won't find anything in this ocean. For this, there is a domain name system, that is, DNS and IP addresses. Here ICANN is the institution that controls and manages these addresses and domain names. So we can say that without ICANN we would all be lost, no one could find anyone. But ICANN says that, no individual, institution, organization or government can control the internet. So if we look at what we've talked about so far, we can think of the internet as a building. We have all the technologies needed to make this building work and we have the system for all the different floors to work in harmony with each other. Of course, there are other elements necessary for the smooth operation of the internet. But if we look at it from our own perspective, we can share information on the internet as we want. Perhaps it has made ourselves freer than we have ever been, but still, there are mechanisms that control what we share. Companies and governments are also working together to optimize the internet and share information freely. But these collaborations do not always go smoothly. Yet the internet has revolutionized our lives. It radically changed the world. Returning to the answer to the question of who owns the internet, we all have a stake in the internet, with the information we produce, the content, and the things we share. So basically, you do.